I'm Susan Riley, your host of Education Closet on Demand. I'm also an arts integration specialist, and today I'm going to share with you something that I think is going to save you so much time when it comes to integrated planning. Now, one of the things that we hear a lot with arts integration and with STEAM integration is that planning can be really difficult because you have to find the standards to align. And remember, arts integration and STEAM, to be authentic, has to have aligned, naturally aligning standards between a content area and a fine arts area that need to be assessed equitably and taught together. So finding those standards is a challenge, especially if they're outside of your typical realm of expertise. But also figuring out, okay, now that I've found the standards, what aligns, what doesn't, what makes a natural connection, and then how do I use it? And so it can be a major stumbling block and can take up a ton of time. So what we've done at Ed Closet is taken a look at the creative process and pieced together through a lot of research with a lot of different organizations, the kind of 7 pieces that are integral into any creative process. And those are describe, so being able to describe what you're seeing, analyze it, so exploring those details a bit, and then interpreting that piece that you're looking at, which allows you to go through some discovery and to kind of develop some personal meaning to the piece that you're observing. Then you move into creation, which leads to you to presenting your work once it's completed for you and allows other people the opportunity to evaluate it and develop their own interpretation. And then that, in turn, that feedback allows you to reflect on the process and then go through it all over again, either with a new piece or in revision of your other piece that you just developed. So those are kind of the pieces that everybody goes through in a creative process. Now, if we use those as a springboard, what's really interesting is that all of the standards that we're working with, Common Core reading, Common Core writing, language, speaking and listening, math practices, and yes, the new national art standards can kind of align with those parts of the creative process. And when you have them aligned with the actions of the creative process, it makes it so easy to see which standards can naturally go together. So I'm going to show you a picture of this right now, and hopefully you can see, I know it's probably a little small for you, but hopefully you can see that we've done this. We've aligned the process sequence on the left, and then on the top we've got all the standards written out. And yes, these are all the standards in each of fine arts, Common Core reading, math, writing, and speaking and listening and language. And these are based on the anchor standards or the mathematical practices. So they're not the individual grade standards because those would be different for everybody's grade level, but these are the anchors that are common K-12, and it gives you a great starting point. So for instance, in the analysis process, that can align with the process standard in the fine arts of perceive and analyze artistic work. Makes perfect sense, right? Because of course we're analyzing something, which then aligns with the reading standard of analyze text development, analyze text structure. We've got drawing evidence from literary or informational texts in the writing standards. We're looking for that evidence, which is an analysis skill. In the math practices, we're looking at using appropriate tools strategically, and also math practice 1 and 8. So what we can do with this chart is that it makes it so easy for us to go back and look at what standards did we want to choose for an integrated lesson, and then what other standards might that align with to make a great arts integrated lesson, and what creative process am I focusing on so that my students are working through their creative mindset. So if you think that this kind of planning matrix would be helpful for you, there's a download the matrix button down below. I think it's in yellow. Go ahead and click on that, and you can just enter your email address in, and we can send this to you directly so that you have a copy for yourself, and it makes it so easy for you then to plan for your next arts integrated or STEAM integrated lesson. So I'm so happy to share this with you today. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and comment either on our YouTube channel or right here on the website. Put a comment in the comments area below, and we check those all the time. So happy to answer any questions you might have. Until next time, I am Susan Riley for Education Closet On Demand. I look forward to connecting with you again next week.